Hello, friends. It's week 5 of Penfold Theater's Spring Screen Series, and today we're jumping back into the Penfold Vault for a piece from 2011. Almost 10 years ago, we presented the regional premiere of a new work by a then Central Texas-based playwriting duo, Thomas and Sherry Jo Ward, about a young couple who's drifted apart and finds their way back to each other by revisiting their personal histories of love. Now, no recording exists of that production, unfortunately, so we've reunited the cast, Nathan Jerkins and Molly Fonseca, over Zoom to read excerpts for you live. Part of our mission here at Penfold Theater is to offer you stories that inspire hope. And we hope that you've enjoyed this series so far. We certainly have enjoyed putting it together for you. If you'd like to support our work, you can do that online at penfoldtheater.org/donate. But right now, excerpts of Going with Jenny by Thomas and Sherry Jo Ward.
My first girlfriend was named Jenny with an N-N-Y. She was awesome. We hung out all the time. We talked about everything together. We made each other laugh. It was just, I don't know, she got me. You know, we had the same rhythm, the same vibe. It's hard to explain. She could read my thoughts, my facial expressions. We could have an entire conversation in just a glance. It was magic. And we danced around our relationship for a long time before we decided to make it official, before we could admit that we were more than just friends. And when we finally did, it was the smoothest, most logical process I have ever been through with a girl. Things are just easier when you're 8 years old. It happened like this. I caught Jenny writing that she loved me on her hand in class, and then later at the football game, I sent one of my friends to one of Jenny's friends to find out if Jenny liked anybody, and then Jenny's friend sent my friend back to me to ask why I was asking, and I sent my friend to say, no reason, just curious. My friend came back to me and told me that Jenny's friend said she did like somebody, but she couldn't say who. And I sent my friend back to ask, why not? And he came back and said that Jenny wanted to know if I liked anybody. And I sent him back to say, I am the one asking the questions here. Who I like is not the issue. We are talking about you. This went on for weeks. Finally, Jenny's friend came to me personally and said the 3 most wonderful words I'd ever heard in my 8 years of living. Jenny likes you. So I was going with Jenny. How awesome is that? Going together. Through good or bad, thick or thin, rain or shine. You gotta keep going. And I wanted to be together with you, Jenny. We didn't speak or make eye contact for 7 days. Then one day we were on the playground on the seesaw, lifelessly going up and down and up and down. And Jenny said, this isn't working. And I thought she was talking about the seesaw. And then I looked at her and she was talking about the relationship. But I love you, I said. And she smiled, one of those smiles that says, that's sweet, but, and asked if we could still be friends. 8 years old and unaware that this moment was foreshadowing many others, I said, yeah, sure. And she walked away. I learned so much in that moment. Just because a girl writes something on her hand does not mean that it is written on her heart. And apparently, saying, I love you is a huge deal. I've never really understood that. I throw I love you around like it's the ring toss at the fair. The stereotype is that it's a hard thing for a man to say. But based on my experience, the only thing worse than a guy who can't say I love you is a guy who can't help himself.
One day in my 7th grade science class, I felt a sensation coming from behind me. I turned around and Craig Collins was shooting staples at me. Now, had this happened 1 year earlier, I would have gone home crying because a boy had been mean to me, but I don't know. Somehow I knew it was an endearing gesture and I welcomed it. There was something about Craig. He wore glasses and he had the slightest bit of fuzz just starting to form on his upper lip. He laughed a lot. He was also about 1.5 feet shorter than I was, which would become a trend in my sparse dating life, but somehow we were both willing to overlook this technicality. Just before the school year ended, he asked me to go with him. Not Jenny Martin, me. I said, yes, and he exclaimed, "You will?" His surprise was flattering. He sprang up on his tiptoes, and for the briefest moment, we were eye to eye. Oh, it was amazing. He was so cute, like a puppy. But what more do you need when you're 12? I always wanted a puppy. But Craig's small, cute stature in no way paralleled his prepubescent curiosity. And in order to welcome his advances, I had to move past thinking of him as a puppy, which was difficult at first, but it happened. Wasn't quite as easy to move past thinking second base was a sin. And it all started with staples. Something so simple. He came after me. He saw me from behind and decided to pursue me. He made an effort, got my attention, and it worked.
My second girlfriend was named Jenny with an N-N-I. We'd gone out 3 times, and I'd yet to have made any kind of move. We were sitting in her driveway in the car, having a nice conversation. She had managed to move closer to me across the seat, and out of nowhere, very casually, she rested her forearm on my thigh. Now, looking back, I realize this was huge, and in the moment, I was thrilled and terrified. Maybe it's not a sign. Maybe it's just an accident, a coincidence. Maybe this is just something that friends do, and of course I don't want to ruin the friendship, and even if it is more, what am I supposed to do now? Take her hand, kiss her? I mean, I can't blow this. I must play it cool. So we talked some more, with her arm resting on my leg, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Finally, she looked at her watch and she said she had to go. I immediately got out of the car. Hey, look, I'm walking you to the door. She smiled and said, I noticed. She touched my shoulder and said, you're such a gentleman. We both laughed, and we got to the porch. She's standing on the second step, high enough to look me right in the eye. She says, I really did have fun tonight. And I say, yeah, I liked the costumes. And she smiles again, staring at me, waiting for me to do something, say something. And for some reason, I think about a playground and a seesaw. And I say, well, see ya. Then staring at the door. The moment after she closed it, I said to no one but myself, I love you. Regrets suck, don't they? What if why didn't I should have. Here was the game taking place. She makes a move, he makes a move, move. That's the game. That's how it's played. I see it happen with adults. I see flirting happen all the time. I see it, I recognize it, I understand how it works, but there's me on Jenny's porch, looking her in the eye, both of us wanting the exact same thing to happen. It's like I'm at the free throw with an opportunity to win it all, and not only do I miss the shot, I'm too scared to even take it.
When I got to college, I longed to meet a tall man, at least one who was taller than me. I called it the Fred Flintstone syndrome. You know how Fred could just sweep Wilma up? That is what I wanted. I wanted someone who could make me feel small and delicate by comparison. One of the first things he wanted to do when we were dating was introduce me to his music. He made me watch Pink Floyd's The Wall. He explained the symbolism of the animated flowers and how it explored the complexities of mother-son relationships. And while I don't doubt that's true, I wasn't impressed. I mean, actually, if anything, I was disturbed, but that is how badly I wanted to be with him. Enough to endure 3 hours of Alan Parker's Little Rock Fantasy. Actually, it was more like 4 hours if you count all the times that he paused for commentary. On my first birthday that we celebrated together, he bought me a CD, Indigo Girls. He made a big deal about it because it was a CD he wanted for himself, but he realized that if he gave it to me, it would be like having it himself, because he wanted us to spend that much time together. And at the time I thought, God, it was a huge deal. So considerate of him to cement our future with a shared music collection. Looking back, I realize I was duped. It was my birthday and he bought himself a present. This didn't occur to me until the following Christmas when I unwrapped an Xbox.
My wife and I were set up by two married friends of ours named Rob and Cindy. Sometimes I think that the reason I found her so unusual and special was because she wasn't named Jenny. Like a curse had been broken or something, I don't know.
Our first date.
Our first date, it was so
simple.
We ate dinner, we went for a walk.
We held hands.
He's so pretty.
He's tall.
So what kind of music do you like?
All kinds, really. How about you?
I tell her that I am really into Pink Floyd at the moment, and I am sure she is impressed.
I try to look impressed.
I'm 19 years old, and for the first time in my life, instead of trying to be cool and confident or shy and nice, and instead of trying to be what I think anybody wants me to be, I'm just walking along with this girl who is not named Jenny, and I am certain that I want to make a move tonight, right now. I don't want anyone else to get a chance. So how about Rob and Cindy?
Yeah.
They kept telling me that I had to kiss you tonight, like it was the requirement or something.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
So what do we tell them tomorrow? It worked.
It so did.
And both her arms are around my neck.
And swept up like Wilma Flintstone herself. And he says,
I say, I love it.
I know what he almost says. And it's okay.